Monday, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. You all know how I feel about Mondays, don't you? Okay. My name is Wally Scott. Welcome on the show. Mukail Tinubu, welcome on the show.
Always a pleasure.
Too many things happened over the weekend. Too many things. And today, I am going to disappoint a few people and surprise a few people. But I'll talk about that later, okay? Almighty the Tigress. Nigeria's the Tigress retained their women's Afrobasket crown with a 70-59 win over a spirited Mali at the Palais Polyvalent du Sport in Yaoundé, the Cameroonian capital, on Sunday. The win secured the team's third consecutive Afrobasket title after previous victories in Mali in 2017 and Senegal in 2019. Nigeria's captain Adaora Elonu was named the tournament's most valuable player, while she was joined by guard Ezine Kalu in the all-star squad of the competition. Cameroon's power forward Marina Ewodo, Malian center Maria Koulibaly, and Senegal forward Yacine Diop complete all-star squad. Host Cameroon beat 11-time winners Senegal 53-49 to win the third-place position, giving the nation something to cheer about. This is the first time in more than 5 decades that Senegal will finish outside of the podium of a FIBA Women's Afrobasket event. Nigerian ambassador to Cameroon saying, of course, he is happy that in his time, during his tenure as the ambassador, Nigeria won the Afrobasket. But Nigeria winning this 3 times back-to-back and beating Senegal, 5-time champions, and beating a very spirited Mali, 75-59, massive points. Yeah. I think these girls can only do better.
Well, it's certainly nice to see that when they got to the final lap, they didn't take the opposition
for granted.
lightly.
I told you that.
Yes.
They never do. We are the ones that actually overpraise and say, we'll beat them. The girls never take anyone for granted.
Yes. And having now accomplished a 3rd straight win at this competition, putting us right behind Senegal in the all-time Afrobasket winners, it gives us somewhere to go, because we know Senegal are still number 1 in terms of Afrobasket trophy. And it means that with this now done, we still have somewhere to go. We still have a standard that we still need to set. This is not the end of the road for this group of girls. They will do better, and they will surprise us. Probably in next year's competition, it will come very quickly, and the win will surprise a lot of people.
Now, I was talking to someone yesterday, and the person concluded that the Tigress can comfortably accept the title of local champions, as in on the African continent. Nobody comes any close. But they were at the Olympics. We saw what they did. They still have to move a notch up, as in we have conquered the continent of Africa.
Well,
what next?
When it comes to sports, who you play against, the regular oppositions you play against test your limits, test how far you can go. So what next? I would hope that we take time, the Tigers take time, to go abroad and play better opposition on a regular basis, even if it's just in friendly matches. But take the time to test themselves on more regular basis against stronger opposition. That way, they know what the challenge entails. That way, when the next Olympic comes around, it doesn't seem like they're caught flat-footed and deemed as local champions as they were.
This is what I meant by I am going to surprise a lot of people today, and I'm going to actually disappoint people today. Debola, of course, will be surprised. Francis Indem will be surprised this morning. Surprisingly, the coaches in the English Premier League these days might not be doing very well based on their technical abilities on the field of play. But one thing they do have going for them, they get perfect buys. Perfect buys. They can do that. Lampard got the perfect buys for Chelsea.
Yes.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is and has been getting perfect buys for Man United. And when Arsenal went to the market, Arteta, and I was buying players, I was like, who are these ones that this guy is buying? But when the Whites came to Arsenal, he actually brought stability into the defense of the Gunners. And then that young Chinko man, Takoyashi,
think that's...
Takoyashi, that guy is the last match he played. For me, man of the match for Arsenal. This last match he played, so he's everywhere. He's in defense, he's helping us in defense, helping us in midfield, helping us in attack. He's everywhere. And for me, for the last 2 matches, that has been the Arsenal man of the match for me.
You know,
fantastic
when
buy.
I see Asian footballers from China, from South Korea playing in England, in Europe, I'm actually not that surprised when they do well, because the step up it takes to play in Europe is so much further along than playing in Asia. So if these players are even on the radars of these big clubs, remember Shingi Kagawa?
Yeah.
When players like these come into the leagues, you know there must be something special, something that makes them...
Son,
yeah,
Hong-Bin, a son of Tottenham.
Yeah, something that sets them apart from the rest of their counterparts in Asia, something that is worthy of European football. And because these players clearly must work harder, twice as hard, in order to get the kind of recognition, in order to get the kind of scouting
they deserve, yeah.
Yeah, that brings them into these leagues.
They have to go the extra mile, extra notch.
Certainly, they must be physically fitter. Certainly, they must be technically more proficient than their counterparts.
And drink their herbal tea regularly.
And so, of course, when they arrive, I'm not surprised that they do so well, because they're bringing something different, a different mentality, while still performing, while still recognizing the work ethic that takes to compete and keep up with the pace of European.
Yes, because the truth is, the minute you call footballers into a hall and say we're going to be looking for footballers for our team, the minute you see a Chinko guy there or an Asian guy there, first thing is,
yes,
it's not, we're not fighting taekwondo here or karate.
Certainly.
It's football, you know.
Yes, certainly at that level, as well as if you were to see an American footballer, American soccer player, you don't take them as seriously, because you don't expect that the level of football that they're used to is enough to bring them up to speed with the kind of football.
It's an American footballer in Chelsea, Timo Werner, yeah?
Pulisic. Christian Pulisic.
Even his name is not American. Arsenal cruised to a comfortable 3-1 win at the Emirates Stadium. Goals from Smith Rowe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Bukayo Saka sealed the win. Son got the consolatory goal for Tottenham. We've agreed that Harry Kane does not want to play for this club anymore. And even his picture that was taken of him a few minutes, you saw it a few seconds ago, just showed a man who was just like another day at work. I'm not going to put any extras into it, you know. That's the picture. He's a man who's not putting any extra effort. Just another day at work, I'll just go do what I have to do and go home.
Okay, so watching that match, it was kind of difficult to see how far Tottenham have fallen. First of all, the midfield setup was completely wrong. They were overrun. Højbjerg, who should be the deeper midfielder, kept going forward, whereas Ndombele, who should be the more creative box-to-box midfielder, was one left behind, deeper. And in the attack, we saw it seemed like these players were kind of getting in the way of each other. Like I said, I don't know what to do with a player like Dele Alli. He was trying to get into the box when he should, in my opinion, be the one pulling strings and creating more opportunities.
Distracting the defenders and trying to get somebody free.
Yes. Son ended up strolling deeper into the center forward position. Harry Kane seemed to try to do more than he should on a regular day, because he felt he needed to step up his game. Maybe our conversations about his state of mind in England as well have gotten to him, and he wanted to prove a point, especially against a derby opponent like Arsenal. But we saw he conceded the third goal. He lost the ball. He tried to hold on to the ball, and once he slipped that ball, he lost it, and they got the third goal.
So let's move on. Now, on the show on Saturday, Plus Sports Special, I said that the biggest money-making machine in sports right now is boxing. And I said it because when Ruiz beat Joshua the first time, Floyd Mayweather Jr., loudmouth, came out and said, somebody's got to make money. There's going to be a rematch. Joshua will win the rematch. But remember I said this, somebody's got to make more money. And then when the tickets came out for the rematch, it was 100% hike on those tickets, you understand? And of course, Joshua did win that match. And I was joking with Victor on the show on Saturday and saying, what if that stunt is pulled again? What if they pull that stunt with Usic and then he wins? They hike the price, ticket price, and the sponsors hike other things too. And then Joshua goes back again and beats him. And like he said, it happens. But however, this just might not be what I think it is. But this is a cruiserweight champion who has never lost, fighting in the heavyweight, his debut in the heavyweight, and he beats the heavyweight champion silly.
Well, first of all, Victor said, pointed out on Saturday that this is not Usic's first bout in the heavyweight division. That said, it could be. I think we need to take a step back and recognize that Usyk has done something fantastic. As much as our natural instincts based on past experiences of match fixing in boxing and an understanding that the finance is the most important aspect for a lot of the participants in the sport. We need to recognize that Usyk, as a cruiserweight, never lost a bout. Possibly because he was never meant to be a cruiserweight. Possibly because his skill level meant he should have always
stepped higher.
Yes, fighting.
So he was fighting smallies to him.
To him.
You know what? At a point, it got to a point where I like the modesty and the honesty of Anthony Joshua. At a point, he says, my eyes were closed in the ninth round. I couldn't see anymore. He had closed my eyes. I like that.
Well, like you and I talked about, Usyk was more ferocious. And I also said to someone else, when you're a champion, being a champion for such a long time, there tends to be a thinking amongst champions that while I've been champion for a long time, I'm comfortable in my position and everybody else has to rise up to my level. So I get to stay back, take note, calculate, and be more strategic in how I fight.
True that.
Unfortunately, sometimes you're facing an opponent that has nothing to lose and all the hunger in the world to win.
Yeah, true.
And that's how Usyk fought. He fought like someone who was just released out of a madhouse.
And he had to do something right.
And he had to do something right.
Anthony Joshua insists he will bounce back and reclaim his titles after losing to Alexander Usyk at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday. The Ukrainian outclassed Joshua by unanimous decision, giving the Briton his second professional loss. AJ revealed that he was unable to see out of his eye in the ninth round as Usyk closed out the victory. Having relinquished the belts for his second time, Joshua does not believe it will affect potential bouts with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. This guy was asked, what gives you the energy, the strength, the spirit to go on? And he says, I'm just a black boy from Peckham in London, and I have been poor. I have a phobia for poverty. When I remember that I've been poor before and I don't want to be poor again, it gives me the sport to go on. Lewis Hamilton becomes the first ever driver to win 100 races in the history of Formula One.
Well, I mean, that in itself, I don't, like we've talked about on this show, comparing athletes across eras, it's probably disingenuous and wrong.
Yeah.
Because what they do in different eras stand out in those eras and maybe stand out across all eras, but they don't need to be compared. Now, what he has done, this achievement, 100 wins, it stands out across all eras and it's worthy of note.
Okay, now Lewis Hamilton became the first Formula One driver to win 100 Grand Prix with a dramatic rain-assisted victory in Russia that sent the Mercedes driver back to the top of the championship on Sunday. Red Bull's Max Verstappen finished an impressive second at Sochi's Olympic Park after starting 20th and lost due to engine penalties, thereby limiting the damage from his rival's win. Seven-time world champion Hamilton is now 2 points clear of Verstappen with 7 races remaining after starting 4th on the grid and 5 points behind the young Dutchman. We're rounding up on the show soon. Of course, I'm going to leave you with the Laver Cup, Rod Laver Cup. Of course, that was won by Team Europe yesterday. Andrei Rublev and Alexander Zverev beat Team World's Riley Opelka and Denis Shapovalov, of course, to beat Team World. Team Europe won. Team Europe was coached by Bjorn Borg. Team World was coached by John McEnroe. And Rod Laver was there too. So Thank you very much, Bukayo Tinubu.
Always a pleasure.
Of course, join us same time tomorrow, same station, plus TV Africa. I'm leaving you with the Labour Cup won by Team Europe. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.